You're listening to Ross and John
on Radio Essex.
This is Ross McGrain and John Oakes here with Hits and Giggles, your late night hit music comedy show with special guest Rich Wilson in the building. Rich Wilson.
Yeah, how you doing? You all right?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. Thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure, absolutely my pleasure. I've got to be honest, I didn't know you lot were here. I was like, this is a chip shop.
Right, don't let me say that. It's one of the finest fish restaurants in Southend on Sea.
I'm not knocking the chip shop.
So, Rich, you've just moved to Essex, haven't you? You're
That's right.
Our adopted Essex lad now.
Love it, mate. I've been down here about a year, and I've got to say, what a place.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Kent, southeast London.
Okay.
So Orpington, Bromley sort of area. And then I've moved around, lived in North London, lived in all manner bits of Kent and that. And then last year we decided to make the travel down here, and best thing I've ever done.
Yeah,
what a
the
place.
upgrade we call that when you go from elsewhere to Southend. That's the upgrade, mate.
We're in Lee, so...
Oh, nice bit as
hello,
well.
mate. Renting, obviously.
Fuming. But then, I mean, if you come from London, you can move straight. Like, Lee is entry level in London, isn't it? You get like essentially a shoebox for $5,000 a month or whatever it is. But yeah, no, Lee is a lovely part of the world, isn't it?
It's fantastic, and we live right on the water's edge, so...
Oh, mate.
Perfect, mate.
I think he's got a better place than I have. I'm going the other way. I'm in Shoebury now. I'm like at the end of the line, literally. Like if you fold a kip on the vomit.
Yeah, that's why it's called. Shoebury. Really, that's the full name.
So you're a stand-up comedian, mate, aren't you?
Certainly am, mate. Yep.
But before you did that, you actually worked on a bar in a comedy club. That's how you got
That's how I started. Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
That was in January 2001. I just split up with this girl that I was hopelessly in love with, and she dumped me for her mate's brother's mate. And then I was working at a funeral director's.
This is the time to be funny for money.
It absolutely does create, like, having a breakup with someone is like the making of someone.
Absolutely, it can make or break her, and this was a proper launch pad. Because I was working at a funeral director's as well, and it was in the middle of winter, so it's bleak. And I saw this advert for the comedy club up the creek, and I just went, well, I could pull a pint, and I like comedy. And that was it.
It's a diamond job, that.
Yeah.
You should be working at a funeral director.
Yeah, mate, it was horrible. I was only there 6 months, but...
Oh, mate,
yeah,
what a job. We were talking the other night about job. Well, that was actually one of the questions on Inside the Actors Studio when it was, what career other than your own would you least like to do?
Yeah.
And mine would definitely be working with dead people.
Dead people. Yeah, it's weird, man. I've worked with old people as well, and I worked in an old people's home, and I've seen people like take their last breath.
Oh, God,
which is
mate.
bananas. It's like someone dims the lights, mate.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's weird.
So what are you doing? Just working backwards? You're starting in a funeral home? No, people. By the end of the year, you're going to be in a crash.
It's the Benjamin Button of comedy. Oh, amazing.
That's debatable.
So the big news on everyone's lips, mate, is Gemma Collins.
Yeah.
Face planting.
Wow.
The set.
I mean, we've all been ice skating.
Yeah.
And we've all gone, but we haven't had, millions of people watching.
Oh,
that's
mate.
quite something, isn't it?
So,
it really is.
So do you watch, it was on Strictly, right? Strictly Come Dancing. Or was it Dancing on Ice? What was
I think it's Dancing on Ice, is it?
On Ice.
I don't know.
Strictly Come Dancing on Ice. It is.
Strictly.
I mean, she was on ice,
Yeah.
so I reckon.
And
Definitely on ice.
Yeah, and she was doing a dance, wasn't she? So, I mean, technically.
Yeah.
Whichever show it was, do you watch any of those shows?
Do you know what? I don't, but my missus, Jade Adams, who's supposed to be listening, by the way. I don't know if her and her mate Angela are tuned in, but if you are, hello.
Big
she
shout out.
watches all of these. She loves them all. And, so that's how I know about this stuff. I don't watch it myself, but...
Yeah, that old chestnut.
Yeah.
I've been there before, mate. So I remember
when you mentioned it straight away, I went, I saw that.
every year, mate, she sticks that X Factor auditions on. I pretend I've got the ump and I'm not looking at it and I'm on the computer. By the end of it, I've got a Vote Jermaine Douglas t-shirt on. But the issue of contention here is that Twitter's Twitter and John the Skeptic over there.
Mate,
go on.
I'm a skeptic, right? There's a lot of things in the world I don't believe.
Mate, everything, mate.
No, only stuff that's very clearly faked. There's loads of stuff in the world that's faked. Loads of internet videos and stuff that are faked. And I hate it when people are sucked in, like naive people are.
Yeah, I get you.
And I happen to believe that this Gemma Collins video of her falling over, I'm just saying, It's a very easy thing to fake. She falls right forward onto her hands at the end of the dance, not affected by anything else. Her partner turns around and sees her fall before she starts falling. I'm just saying.
You think she took a dive?
Absolutely, mate.
After what? Because she fell off the stage before, didn't she?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I reckon she's got a degree in tumbling. She's just not tumbling.
Oh, mate.
She's in a circus school, isn't she?
She's in Essex, isn't she? She's listening to this.
Yeah, she's the epitome of Essex. I mean, but yeah, perhaps she could ring in and shed some light, but I don't think she will somehow. She has got track record for doing stuff for a bit of publicity, you know what I mean?
Right.
She only exists in the public eye for that very reason.
Yeah.
So I think there's a chance.
Mate, I would absolutely throw myself onto the ice for the amount of money she must be on.
But it was a pretty good fall. She doesn't strike me as a good actor, you know what I mean?
Okay. I've got to be honest, I wasn't... I just thought it was a tumble, and I thought, not again. She's not good in her feet, is she? But you two are saying she took a dive.
Have you seen that episode of Only Fools and Horses with Uncle Albert where he falls down the cellar?
Oh, yeah.
It's that. I'm telling you now, it's that. You go far enough
it
back.
Was, now you mention it, it was pretty...
Yeah,
it was pretty seamless, wasn't it? There was no flailing.
Absolutely seamless.
It was never a mark on her either, so I mean, like, she's landed.
She's brave, though. If she did that on purpose... I mean, I wouldn't want to do that on purpose.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's a lot of money,
I don't know.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of retweets.
Even we are talking about it right now in the studio.
Yeah,
that's very true, actually. There you go. It worked.
It's 10:30 at night, though. No one's listening, are they? That's what you think. Do you think did she fall or was she pushed? It's like Humpty Dumpty in here now, isn't it?
Don't call her that.
No, I didn't mean like that. Oh, God. No. Just forget.
Oh, mate.
I'm so sorry,
Gemma. I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. That is not what I meant, and I'm making it worse.
Hits and Giggles with Ross and John.
On Radio Essex.
Radio Essex. In Essex. Essex with Essex lads. Geezers on it. Hashtag geezers. Lads.
We are the biggest lads on the radio, aren't we, you and I?
Not when you say it like
Not when
that,
you say it like that. Lads.
I was editing our podcast together the other day and there was a 3-minute link where John was exclaiming how much he likes or loves Zac Efron.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, it's not the most
he's a
laddish thing anyone's
beautiful
ever
man.
said.
It wasn't 3 minutes.
It was probably longer.
He's all over the news again at the moment, isn't he? For playing for playing a murderer.
Is
He is, yeah.
Who's he playing?
He's been well, do you want to hit the button and we'll talk about it like it's a bit?
Well, I don't know what button you're talking about.
That's debatable, that'd do.
This is slick.
That's debatable.
So, yeah, he's in the news. He's playing Ted Bundy, isn't he, in a Netflix series?
What is it? I'm watching that Ted Bundy thing. He's not in that.
No, that's the tapes.
That's the tapes.
Yeah.
Oh, someone else has jumped on the bandwagon.
So now they've dramatised it. Although it was made before, and Mark Harmon, who was in CSI, one of the CSIs, the main dude, he played Ted Bundy in the film.
Really?
I think it was in the 1980s, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I've not seen that film. I wanted to talk about this anyway. Have you watched any of the Ted Bundy tapes?
Yeah, we were watching some the other night, yeah.
I started watching them. They're
Chilling.
pretty deep, aren't they? Like
yeah,
that.
man.
But this has been an issue of contention as well because people are saying that it's sort of glamorising him a little bit.
Yeah. They talk about it sexualising the idea of a serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are people that are fascinated by it and do get a little bit,
absolutely.
into it.
And the point is as well, I mean, it's obviously a bone of contention with a lot of people, but he was a bloke who existed.
Yeah.
So although, it's horrendous, everything that happened is horrendous, it's no taking away from that, but he is a person who existed who is being played by an actor. It's the same if an actor played me in a movie, they wouldn't use somebody who looked like me, would they? It'd be someone more handsome.
No, I'm not saying...
It always is.
I think it's more like, in the documentary and on the tapes, the Ted Bundy tapes and that, there's a lot of focus on how he was a good-looking bloke. And how he never, like, even the judge was like, said to him in the trial, saying, if you'd have taken a different path, I'd love to have had you work under me.
No way.
Yeah, and it's alleged that half the reason why they didn't catch him for so long was because he didn't fit the profile of what they thought a killer was.
So charismatic. Yeah.
And they forget, all the tapes and things like that, they're forgetting the horrendous things he did and the families that have lost, they lost their daughters and wives and...
It's horrendous. 36 people, mate.
Yeah.
He's a busy boy. Anyway, so have you seen the Fire Festival? Which was we're starting light tonight, aren't we?
I'll go back to Zac Efron. Have you seen him in the Baywatch movie?
I haven't seen it yet. I
mate.
just can't. No one will watch it with me. Maybe I'll come around yours, Rich. And watch
come
it
round, man, because it's really bad. But
you can be
good
Dwayne
bad.
Johnson, and I'll be Zac Efron.
Any day,
just
mate.
Sit there in their little red shorts and watch it.
Any day. I'm up for that.
Is The Rock in Baywatch?
Yeah,
Is that
of
what you're
course he is,
saying?
yeah.
Oh, no, that's not right, is
What are you
it?
talking about?
You can't have a bloke that good looking and that big and that massive in that.
Yeah, but Hasselhoff in the original was a good-looking fella.
I suppose, but The Rock's like a mountain, isn't he?
Yeah, but David Hasselhoff was always doing that sort of out of shape, in shape thing that people do.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
sort of thing, I mean.
like the 50s.
Yeah. So where it's like where he sucked his belly in.
Yeah. And made his chest look all weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's arched his back. He's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. But mind you, standing next to Pamela Anderson back in the day,
Yeah.
you'd do attractive version of you, wouldn't you?
Mate, dad bods are in now, mate. They're coming back.
They are, yeah.
You're listening to Ross and John.
On Radio Essex.
Ask Lexi.
Time now, though, for Ask Lexi, which is probably most people's favourite part of the show, which is a little bit depressing, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, me and him are doing the grind every day. We're up all night writing this stuff.
Yeah, right, yeah. This is why I'm here, only because of Lexi, because she's smashing it, mate.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
We just cannot come up with any content on our own, so I have to drag my 3-year-old into
The
it.
heartbreaking thing is we've got so much content, but people just don't care unless there's a kid on it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it. And the other thing is as well, it's not that she's just overshadowing me in both my comedy and radio career. She was born 5 days before my birthday, so that's my birthday out of the window. Forever. But more people have started turning up to my birthday barbecue, so there's swings and roundabouts there.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Actual swings and roundabouts. Actually 3.
Actual swings and roundabouts. I love that. Right, yeah, so this is the part of the show where my 3-year-old daughter takes on the role of agony aunt all week. People have been texting in, Facebooking us with their various problems in the hope that Lexi will be able to solve them for them on the air. Tonight, we've got a young lady called Sam from Colchester with an issue. Let's take a listen and see what that issue is.
Ask Lexi.
Hello, Lexi. This is Sam from Colchester. The people in the office won't let me listen to Radio Essex. How can I convince them to let me listen to the station I want to? Thanks, bye.
Hi, Sam. Thank you for your question. If your colleagues won't let you listen to Radio Essex, I suggest you go into work an hour early and pour a cup of coffee on the radio. Make it look like an accident. And then bring your radio in the next day. You're the hero in the office. And you get to listen to Radio Essex, best radio station in the world. Because I'm on it. Ha 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 ha. Thanks for your question. And be careful. The coffee may be hot.
Ask Lexi.
How good is that? Oh, she's going places, isn't she?
So that little cough at the end is just so cute, isn't it?
So professional, man.
I had to leave that cough in just to prove to the people that were livid that there was no Ask Lexis last week because
Yeah,
she
right.
had a cold. And I mean, that I was like just putting her coat on to go down the radio. My other half Holly's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just got to go down and record some Ask Lexis." She's like, "She's ill, mate. She's 3 years
You're like
old."
Michael Jackson's dad.
You're listening to Ross and John.
On Radio Essex.
Right, we're going to do something that we had nicked. Now we're going to say plagiarised.
Inside the comedian's studio.
Listen to that. It's jazz, baby. This is Inside the Comedian Studio. So obviously famous programme back in the day called Inside the Actors Studio with a guy called James Lipton who used to ask 10 questions at the end. Have you seen it?
I have seen it, yeah.
So he'd ask 10 questions that are supposed to be personality-revealing questions.
Right.
Although they seem silly on the surface. Turns out he actually borrowed those questions from an old French programme.
Oh, there you go.
A little bit of trivia for
Yeah, the French are always losing stuff, aren't they? There was that bloke who left those hundreds of baguettes on the bus. That was just the start of it, wasn't it?
So we thought we wanted it to be original, so we're actually debuting our very first original Inside the Comedian Studio questions.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
So if they're rubbish, it's our fault. We're really sorry.
We'll take it in turns. We'll do one each, shall we?
All right.
So first one, I'm going to let John ask this one because he wrote this question. I think he'll probably tell it better.
So this is my question to you. If I had a piece of bread and I put butter on that bread, and I had another piece of bread and I put butter on that as well, and then I put jam, let's say, in between that, put the two pieces of bread together, that's a sandwich. We can all agree that.
We can, yeah.
If I cut it corner to corner and I take one and I give you one, have you got a sandwich or have you got half a sandwich?
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So that's like a positivity test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've both between us got a sandwich.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
which we are now sharing.
So have you got half a sandwich or have you got a whole sandwich?
Well, I've got half a sandwich, but I've got a lot of love.
Amazing.
Give us a because Joey don't share food.
Perfect answer.
So, yeah, but what you were saying earlier is that apparently, because the definition of a sandwich is something in between two slices of bread. It doesn't stipulate how big the bit of bread is.
It's not. It's a something in between two somethings.
That's a rubbish sandwich with jam in it, I've got to be honest. If you offer me half a jam sandwich, I'd go, mate.
The answer's no,
isn't it? Better than
that. Right, next question. This is a pretty standard one. What superpower would you most like to have?
It's got to be flying.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Have you ever had a flying dream?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I love flying dreams.
I don't think I have had a flying dream. I've had a few falling dreams. That's not surprising,
I've had a few
is
of them.
it?
Stepping up curbs and falling off chairs and things like that. You're nodding off.
Yeah, and it wakes you up.
So this is kind of like a two-part of this question, right? Because it's what superpower would you like? That's the obvious one. Most people are going to say flying or invisible, aren't they?
Yeah, but only perverts say invisibility.
It's true.
I definitely would have in mind. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, there you go.
But what we want to know, what superpower would you most likely get?
Like realistically, if you actually got a superpower, which one do you think you'd get? Because I think I'd get like super sight or something like that.
Which is just really well.
Yeah, which is just rubbish, isn't it? That's binoculars, that is.
I'd probably just get the ability to be able to, tell you what year a song came out, what chart position it was.
So,
Music trivia, man.
I'd get something like, I'd be able the ability to look really good in a coat.
I'll tell you what, you have already got that superhero ability.
There you go. That'd be just that, but just amplified.
You do look really good in a coat.
I still can't reach the top shelf. I'm only little. There'd be so rubbish like that.
Oh, mate, if you and John lived in a house together, you'd have to not put anything on the top shelf.
We'd just live in a hobbit hole.
Yeah, we would. My missus, Jade is like taller than me. She's like 5. I think she's like 5'9", 5'11", something like that. Yeah. And yesterday she leaned up she was still on the floor. She leaned up top of the cupboards and just picked this thing off. And I was like, and I didn't even know I was going to say it. I just went, I wish I could do that.
Did you have moments of that little flash forward in your mind to the little tiny stool that you've got tucked away somewhere?
It's down the side of the fridge.
Oh, amazing.
Collapsible one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Brilliant. Next question, John.
Okay. If you could, would you rather live forever or know when you were going to die?
I think.
I went quiet for that deep, poignant question.
Well, yeah, because to live forever would be great if you got to a certain, like if you were like you are now, like sort of in the peak of your existence, and then you got to carry on like that, like you didn't age anyway. Then to live forever would be all right.
Yeah. If you kept aging forever, what are you going to look like at 1,000 years old?
Oh my God, just a bag of dust. He'll just keep brushing you off the top of the telly.
Well, your eyes are just really dry.
It's like someone's melted a candle.
We're going to take great granddad out for a walk. Quick, put some water in him.
Okay.
I think I'd like to know when I was going to die.
Really?
Yeah. Then you go right. I've got that amount of time.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do this. And you need to get stuck in. You get stuff done.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Okay. Good. Nice. Next question. If you could live in another time, when would that be? What time would that be?
The Summer of Love, the original Summer of Love, 1960s, mid-60s.
Yeah, good choice.
You know what I mean? Just, it was all, everyone loved each other, man. There was no social media.
Yeah.
Everyone was naked.
Yeah.
Just off their heads on weed.
Are you a fan of nudity then?
I am.
Are you a naked person at home?
I shouldn't be, because I've got windows in the back of the flat and in the front.
Great.
You can see right through the flat.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I've got super sight as well, and I can see you from wherever I am, mate.
You don't want to see my hairy donut of a body running around. He's got his knob draped on the telly again.
Oh my God. All right, go on, one more, and then we'll go to
All
the song.
right, okay. This is a good one. Dinner with Morgan Freeman or drinks with Liam Gallagher?
Ah, mate. Drinks with Liam.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Got to be, yeah. I mean, that's going to be a proper night out.
I'd love to pick Morgan Freeman's brains, but, to turn down a night out with Liam Gallagher, it would end in a fight, though, wouldn't it?
I was going to say, I'll be there 10 minutes and probably would have punched me.
Just don't talk about football. I think that's the key. Talk about shoes, music, haircuts.
Yeah.
Oh, we might be all right then.
Fashion as well, with that pretty green clothing.
There you go. Steer clear of the football and I think you'll be all right.
Nice.
Do you know one of my favourite stories about Liam Gallagher? I think Noel might have had something to do with it as well. Colleen Rooney, Wayne Rooney's wife.
Yeah.
She, for his birthday, got him a Les Paul guitar, like a proper Les Paul custom, about $2-3 grand's worth of guitar. And he's a massive Oasis fan, so she thought it'd be nice for his birthday to send it to the Oasis boys, get them to sign it.
Yeah.
But they're obviously avid Man City fans, aren't they? And Wayne Rooney was at the time playing for Manchester United.
Yeah.
So they got it spray painted baby blue and had "I'm forever blowing bubbles" written all over it. I just love that. Heroic.
My favourite story I've heard about them is Liam was round at Knowles and they were drinking and and then he looked in the fridge and there was a bottle of, I don't know, like champagne or something with a little spoon in the top, and he put a spoon in it to keep it
the
fresh.
bubbles in, yeah.
And Liam's like, well, what's that for? He goes, it keeps it fresh. And then, I don't know if this is true, but a few weeks later, Noel's at Liam's. He goes to make a cup of tea, opens the fridge. There's a bottle of milk with a spoon in the top. I don't know if that's true, but funny, man.
That's amazing.
Gig Reflex.
So, this is the part of the show where we talk about gigs and stuff. What makes a good comedy gig, Rich?
All sorts of things. I think it takes the setup initially when you get there, a decent room with decent sound and lights. And you'd be surprised how many people get that wrong.
Yeah, it's so true.
You need to be heard, you need to be seen.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you haven't got decent sound, then you don't have authority over the room, and you're on a hide into nothing, So lights and sound. I'm saying all this, I couldn't be a promoter. I just couldn't do it. I'm not organised enough. I just want to turn up, have a perfect room, smash a gig and go, and leave as a legend. I don't want to put the chairs away after.
I'm sure it's a stipulation to be disorganised as a promoter, to be honest, though, isn't it? And then just blame it on the comedians.
Well, yeah.
I think everyone just blames everyone else, really, don't they?
It's just this circle of just lies.
So with that said, what is the best gig you've ever done?
I'm going to tell you now. Tell you now. You know it's coming.
What?
I did Cardiff Glee last week, and I got a standing ovation.
Mate.
Yeah, mate.
The fire alarm go off.
Yeah. Well, no, they were putting their coats on, but they're still.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was. I was, as I do when I'm emceeing. As you wrap the gig up, and I always go, right, give it up for all the staff behind the scenes, everyone behind the bar and all that. And these guys stood up and were clapping, and I'm saying to the bar staff, I'm going, that's for you. And then this bloke turned around and went, and this is for you. And honestly, it was like a Ben Hur, like it was like, they all like this epic Hollywood. Everyone stood up, and I was like, wow, God. Man. Yeah, it was excellent.
Oh, that's a stage dive. So I always have to go one more.
I imagine that you get too carried away, got a stage dive, and they don't see you coming.
Oh, mate. All right, okay, good. So what is... no one cares about your good experiences, Rich. Comedy is tragedy plus time. What's the worst gig you've ever had, and why?
I've had a few... I've never had a proper... I've never been booed off. I've had people not interested.
Right.
And I had one once. You know it's going bad when you can hear someone yawn.
No.
That kind of like that.
I once did a gig with Ash Frith and Matt Kirshen, at a festival in Shropshire, and it was like not a comedy festival, a music festival, which is never good, is it?
Nah.
We actually talked about this on the show last week, right? It was you knew it was bad when we got there, and like you can hear the distant bass of the music. And we said to security, "Where's the comedy tent?" It went, "Oh, you can just see the top of it over there. There's this purple tent." We went down. There's a purple marquee, acid house playing.
Nice.
4 people just like their jaws, their heads moving all around, their jaws staying exactly where it is, dancing to this music, and then with a chalkboard outside with comedy written on it, right? So we started doing this gig to literally no one. I was standing on stage to literally no one, just shouting comedy into the mic for 5 minutes. Matt Kirshen ended up rounding a few people up. We ended up with like 20 people disinterested in this tent, and I'm going into a bit. And halfway through this bit, a girl no older than like 11 or 12 has walked into the middle of the room with a sleeping bag, laid down and went to sleep. Imagine knowing that your comedy is that bad.
Incredible.
That it's enough to make an 11-year-old want to go to bed.
That's the safest place.
It really is, isn't it?
You're listening to Ross and John
on Radio Essex.
Time now. It's do you know what it is? It's exactly 11 minutes to Rich Wilson's 47th birthday.
It is, yeah.
You're joking, is it really?
Yeah, man.
Are you going to have your birthday live on the show? I can't believe it.
Oh, bless you.
I know
you
that
should
because
have said.
we've had a happy birthday text already. Love from Jade is one and only. That's lovely.
That's amazing.
There she is. Thanks, babe.
So I was going to save it till midnight, but I thought she might go to bed and then she'll miss the shout.
Well, she has just messaged me. I'm going to I'll listen to the rest on podcast. But well done.
What's the plans? What are you doing for it?
We're going for a curry in Leigh-on-Sea.
Oh, nice.
That's how the other half live, John, isn't it?
I know, imagine that.
I'm excited. Well, last year, because it's the first time we were down in Essex, we went to the cinema to see 3 Billboards.
Right.
But before that, we went to Southend, and I've not been to Southend since I was a kid. And we went into this there's like a world buffet place.
I know it, yeah.
Oh, no.
Awful. I'm not going to name it because everyone knows what it is.
Yeah.
It was like they had all the bits of someone's old fridge, old food.
Yeah.
And they just had it on the side. And me and the missus, we had a couple of beers. We didn't even finish them.
Yeah.
Let's just get out of here.
I know exactly what you mean. I went there for a meeting before. Like, it's the first time I've been. I'd never been before because I just don't trust a restaurant that will cook you some pasta and also some sweet and sour chicken. But where do your priorities lie, mate? You're not going to be good at all of it, are you?
There was no one in there either.
Yeah,
Empty.
Empty. Oh, brilliant. So you're going for a curry. That's a very adult birthday now, isn't it? We had, I was saying, we were talking about this off air. My other half smashed it last year for my birthday.
Yeah.
She's not very good at like keeping secrets and stuff like that. And she arranged a surprise. You know, when you've got an inkling that there's a surprise happening, I had an inkling. And the surprise was that she was taking me on holiday, right? So she's like, she had to tell me because I had a day job at the time, and she had to she's like, look, I've got to tell you you're going away. I didn't want to tell you that, but I need you to book the time off work. And I was like, well, what do I need to pack for, hot or cold? And she's like, getting the ump because I'm asking for clothes. So then I got out there. It was a hot place, right?
Yeah.
And then it got right. So this is like a couple of months before my birthday, and then it got literally to like the week before we're going, and we're talking about what things that we got coming up. And she's like, oh, it'd just be so lovely. We went to spend a little bit of time in Valencia, and we're going to Valencia. And she's like, and she cried, mate. And I was so gutted for her, right? I mean, I ribbed her for it a bit, obviously, but she still pulled it out of the bag, mate. I got to that airport at 7 o'clock in the morning, and all my mates were there.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Apparently they had a lovely time. He sent me some pictures.
Is it?
It was a really lovely holiday, actually, wasn't it? We had a really nice time.
It was great. It was a proper adult holiday, though, wasn't it? And I loved it. It was like we had a massive villa. It had a pagoda in it, Rich.
Hello, mate.
A pagoda.
Yeah, that's how you know you're a grown-up.
I thought that was just the conundrum on Countdown before someone solves it. I don't even know what a pagoda is.
Gig Reflex.
We should definitely plug who you are and what you do. You are at I am Rich Wilson on Twitter. Is that your most used platform?
Instagram. I like Twitter.
I think you'll find the most used platform is that step he's got behind the fridge.
Yes, smash it. Here it is.
Come on! So, yeah, are you using Instagram as well?
I do Twitter. I do Instagram a bit more.
Okay, what are you on Instagram?
I am Rich Wilson on that as well.
Nice, easy.
But I do those two. Facebook's dying out. I mean, once it's your nan doing all the quizzes. I'm on there, but I'm not on there as all the others. So.
Okie dokie.
I love my dad who uses Facebook like Twitter. Like, when the football's on, you'll just get like 27 notifications of an update. I was like, you need Twitter, mate. Sorry, go on.
That's it, really. I was just going to say, that's the best place to find out what you're doing next. But let's talk about what you've done previously. Let's have a little chat about your Edinburgh Fringe journey. So,
all right.
Your first show was in 2014, is that correct?
That's the one, yeah.
Lovely. And then you didn't go again until 2017, and I want to know why.
I did, 2014 was my first solo, and I got up there and I was in a venue that was the other side of the festival, and it was, so you had to really make an effort to go. And then I was showing some of my flyer, and they went, that's a nice flyer. What time's your show on? I mean, what do you mean? You haven't got the time on your flyer.
Rich.
Oh, no.
And then he went,
oh, no.
What days is it on? I hadn't put the dates either. So I had to sit.
What had you done?
Just a nice picture. Just a nice picture of my little head.
I love that you had got to the point of handing that flyer to a potential customer before you noticed that there was no time.
Two of the essential things that you need: the time and the dates.
Yeah, you're probably right. You should be a promoter, mate. I mean, that's so it was a tough slog.
It was, and it taught me a lot.
Yeah,
and so I did. I sort of had I came away. I went up there and did a double act with Eddie Brimson. We did that. I think that was I don't know when that was, 2016.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Me and Eddie got on. He's a good mate and a good comic. And
was that stand up and slam?
No, that was something else. That's like a rap battle between poets and comedians, and it's like a rap battle, but it's quite middle class, isn't it? So it's
this has got John Oates written all over it.
Mate, you've got to get involved. I'll get you in.
Yeah.
But it's like having a rap battle in a Waitrose. You know what I mean? It's like it's like that. Yeah, but it's good though. So we did that. Yeah, we did that. And then so you didn't take another solo show till 2017. No.
It's worth noting at this point, to people that probably don't know. I mean, Edinburgh, you're kind of like, this was on the free Fringe, I presume.
That's right, yeah.
So you've got like a choice, really. You can either pay for a venue in Edinburgh, or you can go and apply for the free Fringe. There's like hundreds of venues across the city that give up their space for free. Obviously, if you're paying for a room, it's not easy to make money, is it?
No. I mean, once you pay for, your advertising, and you're paying for the staff, and you're paying, you're chucking 10 grand into a hole.
Easy,
at least. Yeah. So you've got to go up there with the mindset of, right, you're basically paying to advertise yourself.
That's what it is.
To the industry.
It's like the world's biggest showcase.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Like a trade fair, really,
So if you go to the free and do the free Fringe is obviously a great thing, because it means newer acts or comedians that just can't afford to finance a run like that can still get up and get a space and get out in front of people. A lot more bigger acts now are using the free Fringe because of the exploitation that they get from the bigger venues, I guess.
Yep.
But the trouble with it is that unless you are established, or you've been to Edinburgh a few times, and your name's done the rounds, you're kind of like your whole Edinburgh experience is down to the fate of the free Fringe gods of where you end up being.
Yeah, that's it.
A friend of mine, James Bone, years ago, he did a show in the GEEZERS.
Okay,
which was miles away, mate.
Yeah.
Just it might as well have been in a different town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, mate. I did my first one was in the Cellar Monkey, which is across the meadows and out the other side.
The other way.
God. And
that is a trek,
mate.
It's gutting, isn't it?
And the reason I took the gig, the reason I said yes to the venue is because I like the name of it. The Cellar Monkey.
It's a great name, actually. What you should have done, really, is nick the name, use it for your show, and got a decent venue. So, despite your little hiatus then from Edinburgh, you're going back this year?
Going back, and this year I'm in the Gilded Balloon. In the wee room.
He's got a few quid now, Rich.
Well,
it's
not mine, it's Jade's.
That is an amazing room and a great time. Really, really, really great.
Yeah.
Are you really pleased with the show this year then?
I am. It's coming together lovely. It's really nice.
Good.
Tell us about the show, mate. Can you tell us about the show?
It's called Death Becomes Him. and it's about a lot of people have done shows up there where they've had relatives that have passed on, and they've talked about how that's affected them. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, well, what would it? I haven't had anyone die, unfortunately. Yeah, so I haven't got an Edinburgh show to do around that. So
poignant
what
story,
I've done, I've killed myself off.
Oh, great.
I'm dead. And now I'm talking about what happens next.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's such a great idea. Yeah,
nice one.
Died in Edinburgh 2014.
Yeah, I probably die on my arse every day.
The Rhyming Celebrity Name Game.
Okay, so this is a game that John and I have been doing for ages. It's absolutely nothing like Obama Llama from Hasbro fame, or whatever it was that made it.
Let's get it right. We originally nicked it from Wonky Donkey, which is a long, long time ago.
Yeah, Ant and Dec fame.
Ant and Dec back in the day.
And that's finished now, so we can have it, can't we?
And they just won another award.
Yes, they have. They're just keeping it warm for us. Don't worry about it.
I believe in you, boys. I believe in you.
Thanks, mate. So basically, this is how the game works. We take a celebrity and we put that celebrity in a random place or a random situation, and the only clue is that it has to rhyme. So, for example, if it was Kim Kardashian's husband is wearing a shirt with no sleeves, the answer would, of course, be Kanye West is in a vest, right? Kim Kardashian's husband, that's Kanye West, and he's wearing a shirt without sleeves. That's a vest. Pretty simple. Kim Kardashian's husband is wearing a shirt with no sleeves. Kanye West is in a vest. So I've got a few of these for you.
Here we go.
And we're going to see how you get on with them. Now,
I'll tell you now, I'm not good at any of this sort of thing, and it's 1 a.m.
All right, so let's start with a fairly easy one. Boy's Own singer, an Irish heartthrob, thinks his life is a roller coaster, but he's come along to the all-you-can-eat Chinese after having dinner at home. So
that's a very long way of getting around.
Let's break it down. So Irish Boy's Own singer thinks his life is a roller coaster.
Oh, so we're talking about Ronan Keating.
Yeah. And he's come along to the all-you-can-eat Chinese after having dinner at home.
It's got to rhyme.
Ronan Keating.
Yeah, he's had his dinner, and now he's gone to an all-you-can-eat buffet after his dinner to have some more food, because Ronan Keating.
Ronan Keating. Oh, no. Ronan Keating.
Oh, you are bad at this.
Yeah. I can't think straight.
You can't stop eating, mate.
Can't stop eating.
Ronan Keating can't stop eating.
There you go.
I was thinking about what he was going to eat with. That's what threw me. I was thinking about...
you were just thinking about that World Buffet place.
Just no one's coming to my gigs, are they? Going to think I'm an idiot. Absolute idiot.
All right, okay, what about this one? This one's a good one as well. Indiana Jones and Han Solo actor is disinterested.
Harrison Ford is a little bit bored.
We're
back in a game.
Harrison Ford is getting bored.
On the board, he's scored some points.
Great. Okay, let's go with this one. I think you might get this one. This Irish actor has a very particular set of skills, but he's trying to have the hive taken out of his garden.
Liam Neeson, what's his bees gone?
Well done. Now you're in.
Now we're in. Now we know what it's about.
Got the formula now.
Okay. Love Actually and 4 Weddings and a Funeral star has bought a yucca plant to go in the corner of the living room.
Was it Love Actually and what? Sorry.
And 4 Weddings and a Funeral star.
Right. And he's bought a yucca plant
to go in the living room.
So Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Has got a yucca plant.
Close, he's bought a house plant.
You had the rhyming word in the question.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I know I said I couldn't get it at the beginning, but don't patronise me.
All right, here we go. I've got another one for you here. George Dawes is having to wear socks while he goes swimming.
George Dawes
is having to wear socks while he goes swimming.
So, Matt Lucas.
Yeah.
Has got verrucas.
Yes.
Did you ever have that? Did you ever have to wear a verruca sock at school?
Oh, the shame. I'd rather carve my foot. Right, okay. One last one. Right. Ron Weasley is trying to give you a clue. Ron Weasley.
That was exactly the same one I was looking at.
I'll give you a clue.
Rupert Grint.
Yeah.
Trying to give you a hint.
Yeah!
Hits and Giggles with Ross and John
on Radio Essex.